kung bago lang kayo sa channel na to, huwag niyong kalimutan mag-subscribe at i-like ang mga videos at i-share niyo na rin para sa iba niyong classmate at i-ring niyo na rin ang notification bell para maging updated kayo sa mga video tutorials na ina-upload ko dito sa aking channel. So for today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to estimate the square root of a number. So, but before we proceed with estimating, let us first discuss ano ba yung square root of a number. So, when we say square root of a number, so these are the numbers that when multiplied to itself, the result will be the original number. So, ano ba yung ibig kong sabihin sa definition ng square root of a number? So, ang ibig sabihin nun, kapag kukuha daw tayo ng square root is yun yung number na kapag minultiply sa sarili, ang sagot ay yung original number. So, ano yun? So, let us try. So, let's say we have square root of 1. So, ano ba yung number na kapag minultiply sa sarili, ang sagot is 1? So, that is, of course, 1. So, the square root of 1 is 1. Since, alam naman natin na 1 times 1 is 1. So, that is the square root of 1. And if we are going to get the square root of a positive number, there is always two value of the square root. Two value of the square root. So that is positive and negative 1. So why is that? Why is that there is positive and there is negative? So tignan natin. So we have positive 1 times positive 1. So what is the result if we multiply positive 1 and positive 1? So the result will be positive 1. And then also, we have negative 1 times negative 1. So if we multiply negative 1 times negative 1, or applying the rule in multiplication or in multiplying integers, the result will be also positive 1. So therefore, the roots or the square root of 1 is positive and negative 1. So let us try another. So let us try 9. So what is the square root of 9? So what is the number that when multiplied to itself, the result is 9? That is correct. So that is positive and negative 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So check natin. So 3 times 3, that is 9. And we also have negative 3 times negative 3. The result is also 9. So let us try another. So let's say we have the square root of 25. So what number is when multiplied to itself, the result will be 25. So yun yung magiging square root ng 25. And that is 5. So that will be positive and negative 5. So check natin. So 5 times 5 is 25. So that is correct. And we also have negative 5 times negative 5. That is also positive 25. So that is correct. So as you can see, in our given, meron tayong dalawang sagot sa isang square root. So, isang positive at isang negative. So, in this session, we're going to use the positive roots only. So, ang positive roots, these are called the principal root. So, yung principal root ay yung mga positive root lang nung given. So, square root of 1, the principal root is positive 1. Square root of 9, the principal root is positive 3. Or sorry, so dito po yan. So, positive 1. So, positive 1 lang po yung ating principal root. So, 1. Dito, ang principal root natin is 3 or positive 3. So, dito, ang principal root natin is positive 5. So, yun po yung mga principal root. Yung mga positive lang na root na nakuha natin. So, before we proceed, so those numbers na merong mga square root na nakuha natin, they are called perfect squared numbers. So, ano yung mga perfect squared numbers? So, that is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, or sila yung mga numbers na kapag kinuha na natin ng square root is merong exact answer. So, just like the square root of 100. So, 100 is a perfect square. Bakit? Kasi ang square root niya is 10. So, 10 times 10 is 100. So, that is an example of a perfect square number. So, tandaan niyo po yung perfect square number, ito yung may mga perfect square root or ito yung may mga square root. So, gagamitin natin yun mamaya when we are going to estimate the square root of a number. So, what if the given is this one? Let's say square root of 17. So, we have here the square root of 17. So, think of a number that can be multiplied to itself and the result will be 17. There is no number that when multiplied to itself, the result is 17. So that means this given is an example of an irrational number. Or the principal root is irrational. So wala siyang perfect root. Hindi katulad dito sa mga nauna nating example, they are called rational numbers kasi meron siyang perfect root. So square root of 1 is a rational number, square root of 9 is also a rational number, square root of 25 is also a rational number, and square root of 17 is the root is irrational. So ibig sabihin hindi siya perfect. So when we say hindi yung 17 yung irrational, yung root, yung irrational. So kapag tinanong, ang sa inyo, pag tinanong is, what is the principal root of square root of 17? So that is irrational or irrational. So wala tayong makukuha perfect root na 17. So another one is the square root of 23. So what is the principal root of square root of 23? So, identify natin. So, since 23 is not a perfect square number, so that means its principal root is also irrational. So, yan po yun. So, ang mga non-perfect square number, ang kanilang principal root ay irrational number. So, baka lang po lumabas sa inyong module, eto na po yun. So, kapag po ang given is not a perfect square number, their principal root is irrational. So that is the square root of a number. So let us proceed with determining or estimating the square root of a number. So when we say estimating, of course, it is not the exact value. So we just estimate the value. So ibig sabihin hindi siya equal, pero malapit. So for that, we're going to use different symbol, hindi po equal yung gagamitin natin. So let us say we have the square root of 14. So estimating the value of the square root of 14, so the first thing you will do is to identify where does the square root 14 lies, or between what numbers this square root of 14 lies. So, saan daw naglalay yung square root of 14? And for us to do that, we need to identify two perfect square numbers na mas mababa at mas mataas sa 14. So, again, two perfect square numbers. So, kanina, diniscuss ko kung ano yung mga perfect square numbers. So, ngayon, so we're going to determine two perfect square number na mas mababa at mas mataas sa 14. So, yung mas mababa niya is the square root of 9, or yung perfect square number is 9. And yung isa na mas mataas is 16. So that is the two perfect square numbers, 9 and 16. So doon natin ma-identify kung nasaan ba yung square root of 14. So since nakuha na natin yung perfect square number, kunin lang natin yung square root or yung principal root. So since square root of 9 siya, so that means the principal root is positive 3. And the principal root of 16 is positive 4. So that means square root of 14 is lying between 3 and 4. So alam na natin kung nasaan yung square root of 14. That is between 3 and 4. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas sa 3, mas mababa sa 4. So that is where the square root of the number lies. So ngayon, paano natin makukuha yung estimated square root of the number? Square root of 14. So since we're looking for the estimated value, so we will use the approximate symbol. So hindi tayo gagamit ng equal sign kasi nga hindi naman equal yung ating makukuha. We just getting the estimated value, so that is approximately or approximate lang. So although malapit siya, but that's not equal. So kaya ang gagamitin natin is the approximate symbol. So in getting determining the decimal value, we're going to use yung tatlo na to. So, gagamitin natin yung tatlo na yan kung paano natin makukuha yung decimal value. So the first thing you will do is, of course, kunin muna natin yung ratio. Ratio ng bawat number. So ano ba yung ratio ng bawat number? So ganito po yan. Sa numerator, ang gagawin nyo is, you will subtract the given number to the lower perfect square number. Given number minus the lower perfect square number. So the given number is 14. And the lower number is, or the lower perfect square number is 9. So minus 9. And then after that, yung susunod naman, so ito yung nasa numerator. Isosubtract lang natin. Ito yung nakalagay sa numerator. So subtract lang natin. And then ito naman, yung nasa denominator. So yan naman po yung nasa baba. So, yan yung isa-subtract natin. So, which is 16 minus 9. So, that is the ratio. So, alam na natin. Tandaan, kapag kukuha tayo ng decimal value, gamitin natin yung tatlong number na nandito. So, yung given number at yung lower perfect square number, yun yung sa numerator. And yun naman nasa baba, yung dalawang perfect square number, yun yung nakalagay sa denominator. And then, we're going to solve the given. So, we have 14 minus 9 is 5. Divided by 16 minus 9 is 7. Then, after that, 5 over 7 is gagawin natin siyang decimal. At yun yung ilalagay natin dito sa given. So, dividing, we have 5 over 7. So, that should be 5 yung nasa loob, 7 yung nasa labas. Since this is the numerator and this is the denominator. So, dividing, so we have 5 divided by 7. How many 7 are there in 5? So there is none. So that means 0. And after that, so you just need to add 0. And if you add 0, you add the decimal. So kapag mag-add kayo ng 0, mag-add kayo ng decimal. And isang beses nyo lang gagawin yung pag-add ng decimal. So kung nag-add na kayo ng decimal, hindi na kayo magdadagdag kahit mag-add kayo ng 0. Isang beses lang mag-add ng decimal. So that is, so magiging 50 na siya. So how many 7s are there in 50? So that is 7. Then after that, so 7 times 7 is 49. And then, so subtract, 50 minus 49 is 1. And again, add 0. So hindi na tayo mag-a-add ng decimal kasi nakapag-add na tayo kanina. So how many 7s are there in 10? So there is 1. Multiply 1 times 7, that is 7. Then, subtract 10 minus 7 is 3, then add 0. So 30 divided by 7, or how many 7s are there in 30? So there are 4, that is 28. So since nakatatlo na tayo dito, okay na yan. So ang kailangan lang naman talaga natin is dalawa lang. So but ginawa ko siyang tatlo para in case na baka pwedeng i-round up. So, ano yung ibig sabihin? So, since hundreds place lang yung kukunin natin, dalawa lang. So, we have 0.71. Kaya lang, kailangan natin ma-identify kung magra-round up pa siya o hindi. Kaya tatlo yung kinuha ko. So, since we have here 0.714, and pag ni-round up natin siya to the nearest hundreds, alam naman natin, pag nag-round up, magdadagdag ka lang ng 1 kapag 5 pataas. So, that means, for yung kasunod, so, pag ni-round off natin, siya ay magiging 0.71. So, hindi naman madadagdagan kasi 4 nga lang siya. So, yung 0.71, yun yung ilalagay natin dito. So, that is 3.71. And then, so ito na po yung estimated value natin ng square root of 40. So kung gusto niyo siyang ma-check, you can multiply 3.71 by itself para makita niyo na siya ay malapit talaga sa 40. So that is for our first example. So for the second example, so let's say we have the square root of 50. So we need to estimate the square root of 50. So first is we need to identify where does this given number lies. So saang number siya naglalay para alam natin kung saan tayo papunta. So the first thing you will do is to determine two perfect square number na mas mababa at mas mataas sa kanya. So that means, so since 50 yung given, so the perfect square number na malapit sa kanya is 49. Yun yung pinakamababang mababang perfect square na malapit sa kanya. And yung mataas naman is 64. So that is the numbers. So alam na natin yung dalawa. Then kunin lang natin yung square root. So the principal root of 49 is 7. And the principal root of 64 is 8. So that means the square root of 50 is lying between 7 and 8. So that is how you determine where does the given number lies. So square root of 50 is lying between 7 and 8. And then after that, we're going to estimate the value of square root of 50. So estimating, we have the square root of 50 is approximately, so since between 7 and 8 siya, so that means 7 point yung decimal value na kailangan natin makuha. So again, kagaya ng unang example, ganun din ang gagawin natin. So itong tatlo yung gagamitin natin. So ito yung sa numerator, and then ito yung sa denominator. So solve na natin. So that is 50 minus 49. Ito yung dalawa sa numerator. And sa denominator, ito naman. So 60, di ba? 50 minus 49 and 64 minus 49. So solving, so we have 50 minus 49 is 1 divided by 64 minus 49 is 50. Then after that, sasolve na natin siya. 1 over 15. So again, dividing 1 over 15. So nasa labas yung 15. Nasa loob yung 1. So how many 15 are there in 1? So since wala, so 0. And then add 0. And add also a decimal. So yun yung rule natin. Pag nag-add ng 0, add ng decimal. Then check. So 10 divided by 15. How many 15 are there in 10? So again, wala pa din. So that means 0. And then for the next one is add ulit tayong 0. And then we're going to divide. So how many 15s are there in 100? So there are 6 15s in 100. So multiply 6 times 15, that is 90. And then divide or subtract. So 100 minus 90 is 10. Then add 0. Again, so divide. So ganun ulit, 6. And then we have 90. So since tatlo na yung given natin, okay na yun. So pwede na natin kunin yung estimated value. Round off lang natin to the nearest 100. So 0.067. Pag ni-round off natin is 0.07. So itong value na to, ang ilalagay natin dito, and that is 0.7. So therefore, the estimated value of the square root of 50 is approximately 7.07 or 7 and 700. Then, kung gusto nyo i-check, again, i-multiply nyo sa sarili yung 7.07. So, check natin kung gusto nyo makita. So, check natin. So, that is 707 times 707. So, multiply 7 times 7 is 49. 4. So 7 times 0 is 0 plus 4. 4. 7 times 7 is again 49. So 0 na siya. So pwede na natin laktawan yung 0. Or sige, multiply pa rin natin. So 0, 0, 0. And then, so 7 times 7 is 49. So add 4. So 7 times 0 is 0 times plus 4. Then 7 times 7 is 49. Then add, so 9, 4, 18, carry 1, so 9, 49. Then we have 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the value. So pag minultiply natin yung 7.07 sa kanyang sarili, ang magiging sagot is 49.98, which is very close dun sa square root of 50. And that is how you determine or estimate the given square root of a number.